President Trump on the campaign trail. The president is headed to Wisconsin later today, pressing the Republican agenda with the midterm elections now 13 days away. The commander-in-chief touting his economic success and tax cuts while at the White House yesterday.
Our job numbers, you hear it all the time when I speak. I mean, we have the best numbers literally we've ever had. African American unemployment lowest ever. Asian American, Hispanic American, no matter what category you look at. Women, 65 years, lowest in 65 years. A lot of that was done by regulation cutting, and a lot of it was done by the tax plan. And that all inures, obviously, to the middle class. In addition, they paid less. I mean, they walk away with $2,000, $1,000, $4,000, a lot of money.
All of this as a recent Fox News poll showed that health care, the economy, President Trump, and immigration are the top issues for voters ahead of this upcoming midterm elections. Joining me right now is Republican strategist Jonathan Madison. And, Jonathan, it is good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on how the midterm elections play out?
Very interesting. Objectively looking at it, I'd say you have an uphill battle for Democrats. A couple of things have to happen. First, they have to flip 23 seats currently held by Republicans. Second, they have to keep their own seats, defend their own incumbents, and that'll be very difficult in places like Tennessee and Texas. Third, you have to have the stars align and everything kind of align with the moon. I'm just kidding as far as that goes, but it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, one of the things that Republicans are sort of saying the Democrats have on their side is money. So, the Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, has joined us many times, and he said repeatedly that there are three major donors within the Democratic Party that are trying to buy their way in, and that's George Soros, Michael Bloomberg, and Tom Steyer. In particular, Michael Bloomberg, he says, trying to buy his way in. But when you give a check to the Dems for $80 million, that's hard to compete with.
It is hard to compete with, but in 2016, you had some of the same donors. It doesn't always come down to the money. That's what I would say to that. Also, neither party is taking this election for granted. I think the Democrats learned the hard way in 2016 that you can't take the African-American vote for granted. You see people like Barack Obama out there campaigning on social media. You see Donald Trump, promising 10 more rallies, just to rally at the base. So I don't think it comes down to the money and the dollars. I mean, they certainly have an effect, but I don't think it ends there.
The president has been out every day campaigning, and then you've got this migrant caravan. What do these pictures do? It's making its way to the U.S. border. The Department of Homeland Security's press secretary tweeted out yesterday that criminal elements have infiltrated the caravan, saying this, quote, the department can confirm that there are individuals within the caravan who are gang members or have significant criminal histories and citizens of countries outside of Central America, including countries in the Middle East, Africa, South Asia, and elsewhere, currently traveling through Mexico toward the United States. Does this support the president's position and refute some in the media that say that he's spreading falsehoods and fear?
I think it supports. The conservative position, especially less than 2 weeks before the midterm elections, that there is some concern. There are some fears among the American public about the caravan issue and among immigration. I think it actually highlights a bigger issue, which is, what does immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform, actually look like, and where do we get that conversation and that dialogue started? This is another issue that kind of puts pressure not just on the president but on Democrats to come up with a solution that has been kicked down the road for far too long.
Yeah, because people want immigration, but legal immigration.
Exactly.
That's the way you want to do it. I mean, what about here in San Francisco? I mean, here we are in a sanctuary city. San Francisco is now allowing undocumented immigrants to vote in school board races. How are California voters reacting to this?
I think the majority of California voters are not happy about it. It's the difference of whether you're not happy about it versus whether you actually propose to do something about it. I would reference the statements, the comments of Angela Alito, one of the former supervisors of San Francisco, and she was one of the authors of the bill that was signed in 1991. The writers of the sanctuary city law. She actually said recently that she was appalled at some of the expansions that have taken place since then, not the least of which that happened last year, or in 2016, when the law was expanded to include felons. and so that's a concern, and we don't want. I think the concern is you don't want people who are undocumented to have a say in elections, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that illegals usually don't vote.
Absolutely.
And that's the law. How tough is it being a Republican strategist in this city? Is there a silent Republican majority? I'd definitely say maybe not a silent Republican majority, but there is definitely a presence there. And you saw that, I mean, if you look at the voting numbers, people who voted for the president in 2016, here in San Francisco, the numbers are shocking. So, it has its moments, but, it's all about thinking critically and taking a stand for what you believe in, regardless of, whether your city is dominated by a blue or a red. I think we all want the same. We want to come to the same place. We just want to go about them in different ways. Yeah, so. Especially in this moment in time. You're right. You've got to stick to what you believe in.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be watching 13 days away from the midterm election. Jonathan Madison.